In this video, we are going to begin a restoration that will totally transform my 1981 DeLorean that sat forgotten in a garage in North Dakota for 32 years. So during this process, you guys are gonna see a lot of cleaning and detail work. There's gonna be metal restoration and paint work, and even stainless steel body repair work and regraining, which is essentially like getting a whole new paint job on a DeLorean. Now, I'm gonna try and keep this to a minimum, but there may be one or two Back to the Future jokes. But before we get to any of that, I did a lot of preparation and disassembly in the last video, so let me take you guys back in time and show you how we've gotten to this point. This seat is coming out. We'll get this weather stripping off as well. Get out of here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. Rear bumper's off. Should be it, I think. Beautiful. There's your front DeLorean carpet. Oh, nasty. Get out. Oh. Oh, so glad I did this. Stainless steel roof coming off. Yeah, I'll let you guys see first. So our first step is gonna be the stainless body repair, and my buddy Blane just pulled up in a Typhoon. I didn't even know we had that. Get out of here. What is this? Work truck. You ready for some stainless work?
I think so, yeah.
All right,
got
cool.
all the body shop equipment in the back and good jamming.
Let's do it. This thing is so mint. Look at the license plates. I love it. So some of my OG subscribers will recognize Blane from a video I made on the CL65 where there was a hole in the cylinder head. I thought I was totally screwed, but he came out and saved the day. So Blane in a past life worked at a body shop, but no DeLorean specific experience.
I never worked on a DeLorean.
All right, so here is our crease, and I did actually find out how this happened. I might put this on LegitStreetCars too, but I was able to speak to the original owner on the phone of the DeLorean. He told me so much about the car, including that this crease happened in 1983. The car was parked in his driveway. He said the transmission popped out of gear. It's an automatic, so that's kind of weird. But he said that it rolled down the driveway and hit his hot air balloon pickup truck. He had a pickup truck converted to transport hot air balloons, and he said that that happened. So the car was only 2 years old. It was before Blane and I were even born, and it's been there ever since. All right, what do you think for game plan?
So what's nice is we do have plenty of access behind here. So first thing we got to do is push out the crease. So we're just going to get in there and kind of push on it and work at it and pound it and get it nice and back and straight, ready for the regrain.
Let's do it. Now, Blane, I will warn you that I posted up the picture of this. That's how you saw I needed the work done on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And there were a couple guys that said this is impossible to repair. That's what they said. Impossible to repair.
And we specialize in the impossible. So.
All right. That's why Blaine's the guy for the job. I commented back. I was like, we're going to get this to work. It's not impossible. We can do this.
I don't think it's impossible, but definitely a little more difficult than a traditional repair. I'm just going to slowly work at it. It's not going to look like a lot of progress at first.
And the goal here is to have this crease kind of stick out a little bit, just a tiny amount, so that during the regrain, he can smooth it back down and hopefully it'll just disappear. And there also is a little bit of a dent right here that needs to be kind of fixed up and matched up with this line.
Well, that's starting to come out nicely.
That's moving nicely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so this was kind of crunching. You see how this is here? I'm assuming it should probably be mostly straight, and then that kind of shows how it, when this went in, it kind of rolled this edge.
That's the kind of damage hot air balloons cause.
I guess so.
Every time.
Every single time. So it's not often I come across a tool I've never seen before. I was actually a Matco dealer in a past life. I saw this in Alex's box, and it looks like it was made perfectly for fixing DeLorean quarter panels.
That's what it's for.
That's exactly what it's for.
Not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever used that one
Shout out
either,
to Sonic,
but yeah.
DeLorean body panel tools.
This seems really nice and even. Obviously, you can still see the little cut there, but that should get fixed during the regrain. This is great.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so we just gotta kind of fix these little guys, There may not be much we can do with that little dent in the corner there, but we're gonna do our best.
All right, it's been about an hour and Blane has been working away.
So yeah, so back here, there's a couple tabs like where this screw goes into. So it's tight getting tools back to where these two marks are. But over here where the main crease was, we've got that pretty much knocked out. Once they go for the regrain, you shouldn't be able to see that at all.
So we're gonna see a lot more of this soon when Mike from DeLorean Midwest gets here. But right now, Blane wants to do a little bit of regraining just to see how far he's gotten in case he needs to continue pushing out. This is gonna look so good once it's regrained. You can already see how shiny it's supposed to be. We've taken out some of the screws here for the quarter panel.
Before we had trouble, we couldn't get the dolly in through there. So these little marks here and here were giving me trouble, but we pulled the screws out. So now I got my dolly up against there. I'll be able to pound these out a little bit more.
All right, after about 2 hours and a few thousand hits with the hammer, this is what we have. This is what it looked like before, and this is what we have after. So obviously we still have the regrain coming, so we'll be getting rid of this and stuff like this as well. But man, Blane, you did a great job.
I appreciate the opportunity.
This looks so good.
I've always wanted to bang out some stainless dents on a DeLorean, and you provided me that chance.
I'm glad we were able to make your dream come true on this one. And seriously, you saved the day once again. V12 cylinder head, stainless steel DeLorean. I'm pretty sure in 3 years I'll be calling you to fix my abandoned spaceship.
Warp drive.
Yeah. Next up, we have a very special guest. My buddy DennisDoesDents is coming in to take care of some dents. That's what he does. Before the regrain, we gotta get this guy taken out and these two right there. I think that's about it on the car. I think we can give him way better access with the quarter panel pulled back. Now let's see if this just kind of pulls back. Wow, we could probably work with this. The man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, DennisDoesDents is back at it. You guys have seen him in many videos and he ends up finding like 400 more dents than I originally thought we had. So Dennis, I see this one here, and then your light just made it, oh yeah, yeah, here we go, and these two here. And that's all you see, right? He's wiping this down to reveal more dents.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on.
Just in that little section.
Literally, it never fails every single time. I'm like, yeah, there's only like 2, and then it's times 10. But check this out. I took out even some more screws, and yeah, we have a ton of room in here.
Yeah, like refrigerators, I do it occasionally, but it's really difficult to get a good reflection on it. But since you're doing the regraining, that can make it look a lot less noticeable when it's repaired.
So no DeLorean experience, but refrigerators.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Same tool you're using for normal PDR right now?
Yeah, I'm using a very blunt tip tool, so it's not as sharp. You want to use like sharper stuff like on aluminum, but yeah, it's just really difficult to get the reflection just right to see.
I gotta say that this one was pretty apparent, and it's like disappearing in front of our eyes, so it's pretty great. Look at the progress. So we had dents just like these right there, all over here. And I think he's working on one like right there right now, but yeah, this already looks so good. Dennis is all done with the dents, so this is what we had before, and this is what we have after. I don't see any dents in here at all. We have whatever this is right here, which I think will come off once we start cleaning this guy, but yeah, phenomenal job. Dennis, once again, thank you very much, and I will leave all of his contact information down below. He travels the Chicagoland area, making people happy by removing dents, so thank you. Right now, I'm pulling all of these little screws here for this sill panel. Okay. Yeah, a little dirty under here. Not too bad. Let's clean this. Yeah, this guy definitely drove on a lot of dirt roads. Look at all that coming out from in there. Just do a little bit of degreaser. All right. That's beautiful. But the screws that hold that in are not cool at all. They're all kind of rusty, so we're gonna drop them in some evapo rust. Ooh, it's already bubbling up. Evaporate that rust. We'll go ahead and tighten up all these quarter panel screws. Not using a ton of force here. It is going into fiberglass after all. We still actually have a bunch of stainless work to do. We're waiting on a couple people to get here though. So while we wait, we have a lot of wiring repairs to do. So in the last video, I attempted to repair some of this, but I went down the rabbit hole of pulling up all the wires and a lot of them just broke in half. So we need to do a way better job with this. So what I want to do is pull the harness out. So if you guys saw the last video, we removed this T-bar roof and I've D-pinned most of this connector, but I saved one for you guys. You can get these universal D-pin tools pretty cheap on Amazon. Some parts stores have them as well. So you're just going to take your tool, stick it in here. It's going to release a little clip and your pin will pop out. So what you're releasing is right here. So there's our connector. All of our pins are off. I definitely took some pictures so I know where these go. I ended up having to D-pin 2 of these connectors, so we have a lot of wires to pull through. Okay, I'm having a really hard time pulling this harness through. I think we're at the very least gonna have to take this torsion bar off. This, along with this, is how the doors open, and I've never done that, but luckily, we have Mike from DeLorean Midwest who just showed up in a Chevy Volt. I love Chevy Volts, I've had 2 of them. You wanna do this? They're special tools and it's very delicate, right?
Yeah, so we got to detension the torsion bar, but I brought the stuff anticipating we may have to do this, and let's pull the door off, I guess.
Oh, you wanna go full door here?
Yeah.
All right. The door's coming off. This should be fun. So this is a special tool that Mike brought over, and this is to remove, detention, and adjust the torsion bar. And right now he's marking exactly where that needs to be because we're pretty happy with how far the door opens.
So pull down on that a little bit, and then I'm gonna try to get a judge for how much tension is on the bars when I take these screws out.
Okay.
I should almost be able to spin them out by hand. Give it a wiggle.
So right now I'm holding the tension with this gigantic breaker bar so he can remove the bracket. So you can't just rip the door off your DeLorean. You need this tool. I'm just gonna get my face out of the way here. I'll just put my face here.
And you can see as Alex goes up and down with the bar, it's moving this bracket. And obviously we got to get this bracket off to clear the windshield. Now you can come counterclockwise, Alex, all the way up and keep going. You probably hear that snap. It should have no tension, and you're going to tension it the other way a little bit. Okay. You got it.
Ah,
that's what you're looking for.
that's not a good sound if you
That's
don't know
the sound
it's
we
normal.
wanted.
Okay, I trust you.
That's what I'm going for.
With all the tension off, you just gotta spray a little bit of penetrating oil in here, and we should be able to get the bar to come out. So I've cut a little piece of rubber hose, and we have our special sonic tool here, and hopefully we can move this torsion bar a little bit. There we go. All right, no damage whatsoever. And that's good. If you nick these, that can create a weak spot in the torsion bar and they'll break. And how much are these guys again?
This is a good $1,000 bar.
Before this video, we had never used this tool before, and now we've used it twice, and it saved the day. Unreal. With the torsion bar out of the way, I think we can pull these wires out. Yes. Oh, this is beautiful. We got them all out, and then, okay. They use some kind of goop. I have no idea what happened in here, guys. Look at all this stuff. Look at, wires are cut everywhere. But the rest of the wiring harness on this car looks to be in really good shape. I mean, even these wires here, they're very flexible. I was thinking maybe because this is a hinge point that it was a common failure for these wires, but it's not. And speaking with Mike, he hasn't seen anything like this. So in any case, we gotta fix these wires. With the harness out, we can remove 4 total bolts for the door. Okay. Whew. Lots of while you're in there's with this car. So this is what we have, all to fix some wiring that went through this factory goopy mess. This either says Bob or that's a heart. And that's another heart right there. With the door out, I can drill out these 2 rivets. Then I can pull this plate off and hope we can get a lot more wiring out of this door. Oh, we're gonna be golden, perfect. All this wiring here is in excellent condition. For this wiring repair, we are gonna use solder stick connectors. These things are absolutely amazing, and you can get them at solderstick.com, or you can use my link down below. I'll leave a coupon code down there as well. But this kit right here will change your life if you guys do any kind of wiring. These solder sticks are super flexible, and so the solder is right in the middle, and this is heat shrink tubing as well. It's the perfect repair. Check this out. All right, so first step is to strip the wire, and then we'll get the other end too. There we go. Next, we're gonna slide on our solder stick connector like so, and we'll twist the wires together. Now, all we do is slide this guy on, and we're gonna want the solder right in the middle, just like that. And then all you're gonna use is a heat gun. It could be electric, could be butane, and watch the magic happen. See that solder? It's melting right into the wires. This is gonna be the best connection you could possibly have. So the solder part is done, and now we'll just kind of move the heat gun back and forth. And the 2 red parts, they're melting inside right now, giving us a perfect weatherproof seal. Look at that, this is beautiful. And that's it. This is the best way to repair wiring. And what I like about these is that the sealant in here, it doesn't ooze all out. We need these wires to be the same diameter because they have to fit in this really narrow sleeve, so you don't want anything bulging out. And look at this, super strong, not going anywhere. So not only are the solder stick connectors the best possible method to repair your wiring, but they'll save you a bunch of time and money. So click on the link down below, use code LEGIT20, and enjoy life. Not that I wanted this to happen to my DeLorean, but since we have to fix these, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. It's really satisfying to melt that solder and then you see it kind of explode inside of there and fuse the wires together. It's, I don't know, it's just fun. You got to try it. It's too good. It's too good. This works so well. All of the wiring repair is done, and I did find some broken glass in here, so I have a feeling that they were in there before, and they probably didn't put the seal in there properly, and this stainless steel gets really sharp. So it could have been cut by the actual door, but we are fixing all of that now. And what's great is this sleeve right here, it's a very visual part of the car. When you have the doors open, you see this, and mine was all cut up, and they don't make this anymore, but they make Mike from DeLorean Midwest, who has basically every DeLorean part in the world.
Got a few used doors that I was able to scrounge one for you.
Well, thank you, Mike, thank you. We're keeping my DeLorean all DeLorean. At least for now. While we have the door off, we need to replace this seal. This is the top door seal, and it used to go up to here, and it's just brittle, came apart. So I've drilled out most of the rivets here to remove this. Just have one left. There we go. All right, so now I can remove this right here, and we're gonna go ahead and peel this seal off. That's garbage. I've ground that down, and now I have to punch it through, but you have to be really careful because you can make a dent in the door. There we go. No dent, we are good. Next, I have to drill little holes in our new rubber seals. So this is the piece that's gonna get riveted back to the inside of the door. So I just used some 2-inch spring clamps to kind of hold this in place so everything's even, because with the doors closed, you will see this seal, and I wanna make sure that it's straight when you're looking at it. It is kind of a cosmetic thing. There we go. And that's all we needed, that little hole there. So now I have to do that a few more times and we're good to rivet this back in. And we've stuck a rivet right through, so it's sticking out of the rubber as well. We've gotten some of the rivets in to locate this seal back on. And this is another one of those times where we could dent this.
So usually this is 2 pulls before the rivet snaps, and you want to do 1 pull. And you can see that kind of pulled down tight, and I got the play out of it. And then on the second one, I can go ahead and push tight because I've shortened the rivet. And then you want to make sure it's through. And if you look over here, you can see that edge of the seal ballooned. That means I'm pulling it tight.
Perfect. Good job, Mike. No dents. You've done this a few times.
We're not done yet. So.
We have 1 rivet to go, no dents. Here we go. Oh yeah, this is perfect. And this is really nice and straight. This is gonna look great. Now we just have the rubber boot and this door's going back on. All right, so we're gonna feed our wires through this unobtainium sleeve that doesn't exist anymore. What really stinks about this not existing is that this is a very cosmetic part of the car. Here it is on the passenger side. So when you have your door open, like you're definitely gonna do if you're at a car show, you have a DeLorean, you see this right here and you can't have that all mangled up. This one's in good shape, luckily. Someone needs to reproduce this part. And speaking of parts, a lot of you guys had mentioned that there are a ton of DeLorean parts still available and that they're making them new. That is true, but a lot of the parts are new old stock, meaning that there are still body panels, for example, that exist from 1981, but there are things that are eventually going to run out on the DeLorean unless someone steps up to save the DeLorean for the rest of time. There we have it. All of our wires are through the sleeve. Now we just have to rivet this in. So replacing this on the car is very difficult to do it properly because you can't get to these rivets. As you can see on the passenger side, they're right there and you can't really fit anything in here. And replacing this seal without taking the door off, that's gonna be fun. And I will be doing it on this side because this seal's not in the best of condition. This is one of the most riveting parts of the video right here.
Oh, God.
Nice. Some are here for me working on cars, others for the dad jokes. Look at this. So nice. This is perfect. This door's ready to go back on. So while I was doing all the wiring repair, Mike kept on working here. I mean, this is insane, guys. He's not even done. He still has to do some blending. So right now, Mike and Kevin from DeLorean Nation are working away at regraining the entire vehicle. And Mike and Kevin have a YouTube channel called DeLorean Nation. So if you guys want to see a ton more awesome DeLorean content, Mike sent me some videos after I bought mine on what to check. And yeah, if you guys are in the market for a DeLorean, you got to check out the videos. There's a ton of good information. And Kevin came all the way in from Madison, Wisconsin, right?
That's right.
All right, and you're working on this door right now, right?
Yeah, so right now we just finished up graining on this part of the right rear quarter, and now I'm going to start working on the top of the door. And the grain on this car really isn't all that bad, but it does, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's some scratches in here. Just probably somebody set something on here while it was in storage or something like that. Who knows where that came from, but we're going to hit this with 120 grit sandpaper and the wolf head wheel, and we should be able to run that right out of there. And what we're doing is basically just restoring it back to fat gritty grain.
Mike's got a smaller wheel to get in these smaller areas so that he's not overlapping onto the glass or anything, but we did do a pretty good job of taking everything off. This is crazy though. It is like getting a new paint job. Look at this.
So this is actually a dealer arrow tool that was designed specifically for graining this car. They took an arrow tool that this company made, ARO, and geared it down to spin at a particular 1,000 RPM. And then this is actually a horsehair head, and the same company that made this is out of Indianapolis, and that's who both of the wolf heads that Kevin and I are both using today came from.
So all the dealers in the United States would have to have this in order to regrain?
Yep.
Wow. This is really interesting. So everybody knows that stainless steel doesn't rust, right? Well, not really. There are different grades of stainless steel. This is 304, and you can see here, this is very, very mild, but there's some staining in here, and this is actually rust. And Mike was telling me that he's seen this on a few in very extreme situations where they've been sitting around for a while in a humid area. This seems to be on the surface. We should be able to get this out, but stainless steel can rust, and he's even seen some with basically rust holes in them in a DeLorean. Let's hit this with the wheel and hopefully it comes off. Oh, wow. Yeah.
A little bit more down here to get out, but yeah, that came out pretty well. I'm happy with that.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, cool. Rust removal on a stainless steel DeLorean body. You've seen it here first. And can we just talk about how cool this car is? I mean, the lines, the stainless, I can't wait to get this done. All right, guys, so we are going to experiment with cleaning the car with gasoline here in a moment, and I'll explain. But first, we're gonna do it the right way. So we haven't regrained this section here, but you can see there are a lot of fingerprints on the stainless steel. It's just like your refrigerator. It's kind of annoying. And then some other corrosion, little scuff marks here. And to clean this, we're gonna use Barkeeper's Friend. So this stuff has been out for all of time.
Yeah, this has been around for a long time as a bar and restaurant cleaner and kitchen sink cleanser. They make it in a few different forms. I prefer it in the powder. And what I do is take a damp rag, and we could shake it down into a damp rag and then kind of work it in.
When DeLorean owners want to wash their car, they just wash it like a normal car and then they do this?
Yeah, this is probably maybe a once a year clean. You don't have to do this each time. And you do want to, once you do this, you should rinse it all off because it can bleach like the rockers and non-stainless stuff. So you don't want to just leave it on for a long time. But yeah, there is kind of a rundown here. You can see and then there was like some grease on it, and it just does it. If we did this with a white towel, you would see how much crap it pulls out of the stainless.
Wow, that's almost instant. That's
so
really nice.
The grain does trap dirt in it. Even if it didn't have any of that on it, there tends to be a brown hue to the stainless just because there's dirt within the grain, and then this brightens it up and kind of gives it more of a blue hue, and so it can make a big difference in not a lot of time.
So there's Barkeeper's Friend. That worked out really nicely. Look at this panel. It's going to look even better once we do the regrain, but let me show you guys that. So DeLorean, in one of their shop manuals, and I think in some of their owner's manuals, they recommended cleaning the car with gasoline, literally getting gasoline on a rag and wiping the car down, which may or may not work. We're gonna try it, but I just wanna point out that this engine has an evap system, okay? So that is an emissions control system that's supposed to take the fuel vapors from the fuel tank and burn them so they don't escape into the atmosphere. But at the same time, they want you to wet a rag with gasoline and wipe your whole car down. So not only is that super dangerous, but it's not environmentally friendly. Like why do they even have the evap system? It makes no sense. But anyway, we're gonna test this theory, see if it even works. All right, here we go, 93 octane gas on a rag. And this one has a ton of little smudges and it's pretty dirty at the bottom of the door here. And we're cleaning it with gasoline. And all the fumes are just evaporating up. Maybe the evap system is so good on this car, it just sucks the fumes from all around it. Maybe that's what they were going for. Okay. I gotta say, I got the fingerprints out of it, but the barkeeper's friend did a much, much better job. So gasoline to clean a DeLorean, no bueno. All right, DeLorean door going back on. All right, ate my Wheaties today. So this is like hour 10, I think, roughly today. Been living a DeLorean lifestyle lately. It's good for losing weight. I don't eat at all. I just keep working. Live the dream, people. That was the DeLorean slogan.
There was one that was the last production door, and it said, "Will the dream still be alive?" It was the last car that the factory had screwed together, and they, at that point, were unsure if another one would ever be built, and to date, not really.
So someone wrote that on the inside of the door. They had to pop the door panel off and find it, and then the owner of that car ended up just hanging, like, they just hung it up as a decoration, right?
Yeah, it's now kind of in a museum in Texas, in the DeLorean Museum in the Humble, Texas facility.
It's a little eerie. Like the workers at the factory were like, "Is this it?" And they wrote it on the inside of the door, "The last DeLorean." How crazy is that? The whole DeLorean story is insane. The factory was only open for 18 months. The workers had to basically sign a contract that they wouldn't fight their civil war inside of the factory. Because at the time, the Protestants and the Catholics, they weren't happy with each other.
Yep, there was a Catholic entrance and a Protestant entrance, and the rule was once you came inside the building, they had to work together, they had to take lunch together, and it was the first time they kind of started to see each other as human beings. I can lift it up, Alex.
Okay.
So that's probably about where we were. You wouldn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's right where my Sharpie is. And we're gonna get this at least as good as the Irish workers did back in 1981.
I think we can. He's even wearing his lucky green today. So.
That's right. I hate me Lucky Charms. I have a lot of Irish friends, so I can say that.
Yeah, I'm Irish, so
Oh, there you go. See?
Irish and Italian. So.
It's Chicago. Lots of Irish and Italians. We all make fun of each other. It's a wonderful thing. No one really cares. It's just all fun. Top of the morning to you, laddies. See? I didn't get punched. All right, we'll give that a final kind of torque once we know this is all set up. All right, now I got to feed this wiring harness through. In hindsight, we probably kind of should have done this a little bit differently. Unfortunately, we can't go back in time. It's getting late, people, all right? It's getting late. The brain is wandering. Back to the Future references are flying. There we go. Harness is coming through. Ah,
I got me a boot,
yes.
so that's a good sign.
Look at this beautiful, beautiful gray rubber. What do we call this? Wire loom?
It's a pirate's boot.
All right, we're gonna check our body lines before we put everything back together.
And before the torsion bar goes in, we're mainly just making sure it still fits the hole. Because the torsion bar will torque up the door and it'll fit different, but if it closes fully and the gaps look good, this is a really good sign. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, these gaps are actually right where they were. And these are actually pretty nice. I mean, considering it's a DeLorean where, like, this is normal right here. Like, this kind of stuff, it's hilarious. The fit and finish on this car is horrible. So you almost, like, can't mess it up, honestly. But this is great.
This is also a decent time to see, like, the door has not been grained and the rear has. So, like, here you can see how it's just brighter.
Oh, yeah. Wow, look at the difference on the grain.
And then a lot of, like, you know, there's a little scratches going, you know, vertical here, and the regrain gets it all going horizontal again.
We've been working away so much here, I haven't even had a chance to, like, stand back and look at some of the regrain. This is wild. Look at that. So we have our before and our after. Oh, Kevin, you did that other side already, didn't you?
I did do that
Yep.
other side.
So
I didn't even get to go look at Kevin's beautiful work yet. Wow. Look at this thing. Yeah, see, this door line is really nice too. And we're still technically not done, right?
We still need to blend it out yet, but as far as the regraining, I've regrained all three panels here. There was a little bit of rust on the bottom of this door like you had on the other side, and we were actually able to get all of that out. So I'm really, really pleased with the way that came out. So other than running a blending pad across this side, I think we're pretty much squared away. So we still need to do the hood, put the T-panel back on, and grain the door on the other side, but we're getting there.
So one of Mike's friends just showed up, Anthony, with a DeLorean, of course. So my DeLorean's gonna look kind of like this because I am doing this stripe kit. I think it looks awesome. It was a factory dealer installed option, but something that you probably won't ever see on another DeLorean is this is one of the only twin turbo DeLoreans using the V6 engine.
So, yep, this is the Island Twin Turbo kit. It was an aftermarket that was done back in the early 80s. And it's got two little twin turbos, runs about 5 to 7 PSI. You can get some internals on it, you know, get the engine upgrade and stuff and run a little bit higher boost. It's a dying kind of twin turbo kit, so I'm trying to keep this one alive and run as fast as I can, or as long as I can, not as fast.
Is it actually fast?
It's peppier. It's definitely peppier.
Okay.
Top end, when you get the turbo spooled up a little bit, it definitely goes a little bit faster. So, but it's, you know, compared to today's cars, it's not as fast as, you know, a Challenger or whatever they got out there now. But it's a 2,700 pound car. It's definitely peppy.
So these are aftermarket ground effects that came with the twin turbo kit. It was kind of a package. And this light is from a C4 Corvette. And this is a black interior automatic car, just like mine, with, of course, our flux capacitor. And yes, I might get one of those. Oh, look at that. It lights up. That is too cool. But beautiful, beautiful car. The interior is amazing on this one. Soon mine will kind of look the same. That actually sounds pretty good. Wow, Anthony.
Got a little 42 in it.
Really nice car, dude. Thank you so
Thanks a lot.
much.
Appreciate it, brother.
Later, Anthony. See ya. Look at that right there, guys. See that dullness? It's gonna disappear. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. All right, it's not working out. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Come on. All right, so Kevin said that's actually a stain, so we might have to get it out with the barkeepers. All right, I was trying to be slick. Okay, now it's going away. Very good.
Just had to give that spot a little extra love, and it came right out.
This is gonna look cool. He hasn't done any of this yet, as you can see here. Look at that stuff. That's all gonna go away. $1,000 torsion bar going back in. There we go. Mike's doing the regrain on the door now that it's back on. So we have this left. Kevin's almost done with the hood, but soon this driver door is gonna look like the passenger door. Perfect. Kevin is all done with the hood. It looks absolutely perfect. And this is one of those parts that they don't make anymore. There were 3 or 4 versions of this hood, and this is the very first. So it gets the lines on each side and it gets the gas flap. So most DeLoreans don't have the gas flap. You have to open the hood to fill it with fuel. So this is basically a priceless hood in perfect condition. I love the fact that I got an early car. But anyway, this is how it looked before. Lots of stains. There were some scratches as well. And now we have this. I mean, you can go around here with an inspection light. It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So anyway, for now, this is going back on the space van for storage, and we'll get it back on in a few days. So what you guys are seeing in this video is gonna be about 3 weeks of working on this thing almost every day, Monday through Friday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know it doesn't look like much yet because it's not complete, but the regrain, all the stainless work, all the dent work, everything is done. The door is back on. I still have to do the T-roof, which I will get to tomorrow because I have to finish up the wiring. But these guys just did such an amazing job on my DeLorean. It looks brand new. I mean, this is just, I say this a lot, but I can't believe this is my car. Like, what is going on? I have a DeLorean that looks like it's from 1981. Well, like still on the assembly line getting finished, but you know what I mean. Gentlemen, thank you so much. This looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to bring this to your car show next year.
I can't wait to see it.
Mike does a DeLorean car show at his shop, and what were there, like 80 cars this year?
We counted 78, including the ones that we have in for service this year, but 78 all in one property.
A few time machines as well, like Kevin's time machine. So I went to the last one. It was right after I bought this car, and it was literally the day the first video came out. So I can't wait till next year. But if you guys have a DeLorean or you're interested in getting a DeLorean, DeLorean Midwest, I will link it down below, and check out their YouTube channel as well at DeLorean Nation. So thanks again, guys. I can't wait to show you the car when it's done. It's the next day and I have to do the other door seal without taking the door off. So this should be fun. I really want to make sure I protect the torsion bar. So I have cut up a piece of heater hose so it goes the entire length. Drilled out some of the other rivets. So far, so good. I'm gonna pry this seal back Wow, okay. The stainless steel strip is in there, so I'm going to attempt to remove the rubber seal and maybe leave the stainless in here. I don't know. So here is the seal, and with the door closed, I wonder if we could sneak this thing out this way. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's why you have to have the T-roof off. This is great. Oh man. Dare I say this is gonna be easy? I'm not gonna dare to say that now. New seal is on, rivets are through. Now we're just gonna grind off these old rivets. There we go, rivets out. Well, this was a royal pain in the butt, but without any of the rivets installed, I was able to get the seal in there and then the stainless steel strip, and then I just centered it with a couple of rivets. So let's see if we can get in there. This torsion bar is totally in the way. Let's see if we can work around it though. Oh, we did it. We did it. No dent on the backside. Yay. All right, this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. Did we do this? We did this. We did this. Oh, let's close the door. Oh, getting old. Getting old. Oh, I've been crouched down too long. All of that was done for this seal right here. And once we get this T-roof back on, you'll see why we wanted to do this. It doesn't look good with a ripped seal, but it'll also leak water supposedly into the car without this. Now that we've done that, let's drill into the roof of the car. Best tool ever. No turning back now. Ah, this is weird. Let's do it again. So what in the world am I doing drilling holes in my DeLorean? Let me explain. This is a big, while we're in there, so under the stainless steel T-roof, you have fiberglass, which makes up most of the structure of this vehicle, but you also have steel. So steel on fiberglass, and same deal over here, but basically what happens on DeLoreans is this bond right here comes up. So the steel starts to lift up, and the torsion bars for the doors are bolted right into this. So when this starts lifting up, you're gonna have all sorts of issues with your doors. You can break the torsion bars. All sorts of bad things will happen. This will pop up and destroy the stainless steel T-roof. So what I'm doing right now is I'm preventing this from ever happening by drilling 4 bolts, 2 on each side of each torsion bar, and then we're gonna install some gigantic bolts with washers that will go all the way through into the interior of the vehicle as well, and it'll all be covered up by the T-roof and the headliners. And then that way my DeLorean will never have this problem from the get-go. Now there is a different level to this. Sometimes this steel rots out. So I know it's a stainless steel car, people think that it'll never rot, but there is steel on this car and it'll trap moisture. We're in really good shape with mine, so I got lucky there. But if you're looking for a DeLorean, it's kind of hard to inspect, but you wanna make sure this isn't all rusted. So I've made my marks on a piece of tape. Let's keep drilling. And there's another layer. There we go. Now we're all the way through. So it's steel, fiberglass, and then a little cushion of air, and then fiberglass again. And there we go. All right. So I've used 5 different drill bits, stepping it all the way up to a 10 millimeter. This is my last one. All right. Holes are done. We'll get rid of the tape now. Of course, we're using nice stainless steel hardware. This is an Allen head, so it's not going to interfere with our roof. And then from the inside, we're going to install our washer and lock nut, like so. With my Allen on top, we'll tighten this guy up. We're going to tighten them all up by hand once they're all in. Yeah, we got to shave that down. All right, just going to go around by hand. We're not going to go too crazy here. That's good. It's pretty wild that this steel piece is just held in with glue, essentially. Probably a really strong panel bond or something along those lines, but no hardware is actually reinforcing this, and those torsion bars that control the entire door bolt to this. So kind of a weird design, but we just fixed it. Now we have to cut off this excess stud. These tools are the best. This is the first time I've ever used one. I know it sounds crazy, but wow, that was great. There's no sparks and there's minimal stuff all over the place. Sweet. All right, now we have to seal up the top. And yeah, I don't feel like going to the store to get a caulk gun. I have like 3 at my house, but I'm not driving all the way home for this. This is just to seal out any water, which we shouldn't have any issues with that at all. But that's all we're doing here. Perfect. A little trick here. There we go. We probably don't need to do this, but just for good measure, we'll put some on the inside too. All done with the bolts. Everything is protected. Inside is done as well. I'm repinning the connectors now. Good thing we took a picture. And what you want to do here is just pry up a little bit on these clips, and then we can slide it in. Hear your click, and you're good. All right, click these back. And we have plenty of slack after making our wiring repair, so we're good there. Cool. Okay, you know, before we tuck these wires in, I got a borescope in here for peace of mind. From what I understand, there's always gonna be a little bit of surface rust in here, but if you have big flaky stuff and it's collapsed, you're in bad shape. And yeah, this stuff is right on the surface. It looks pretty good in here. Kind of looks like an alien planet. Look at this. Could use this in a sci-fi movie. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too alarming in here. This looks pretty good. So let's do a little bit more preventative maintenance. While we're in there, I'm gonna use a rust converter. There's a bunch of these on the market, but I had some of this laying around. And basically, we're just gonna go ahead and fog this out. And this is gonna bond with the rust and convert it, and it'll stop future rusting as well. Really wanna make sure I get in there. So I've switched over to a spray bottle. This is not clay lube. This is more rust converter. And I really wanna make sure I fog it in there. After spraying multiple brand rust converters, this is our landscape underneath the T-roof. Everything is nice and coated. This makes me feel a ton better. The rust converter is in there doing its thing, preventing this from becoming a real issue. Sweet. All right, with that done, we can feed in our wiring harness. And these just tuck in there like so. All right, just like they did at the factory. There we go. And let's remove some of this old duct tape that they used. It's black. I don't have any black. DeLorean purists, I don't have any black tape. Is that bad? I don't feel like going to the store. I know there's lots of things I could run to the store for at this point. The caulk gun, some kind of nozzle to spray further in here. You don't know how many other store runs I've made, okay, throughout all these projects. I just want to work. I don't want to leave anymore. We're gonna work with whatever we got. So get rid of this old DeLorean tape. This is messy. 4 hours later. All right, we've got this pretty clean. Degreaser time. All right, that is looking good. Next, I had to restore this metal plate that no one's ever gonna see, and after grinding away all the rust, it looked shiny and new. So I protected it with some black primer, let it dry, and it's ready to go back on. Before we seal that panel up, I gotta make sure stuff works. Door locks. Mirror works. My favorite window works. This one works too. I think we're good. See you later. Too cool. I mean, not very practical, but it's DeLorean. We have to seal up this plate before the install. There we go. And this isn't held in by any screws, it's just glued in. There we go. All right. Cool. Basically a DeLorean tech from 1981 in Northern Ireland. While we let that dry, we're gonna loosen up this back louvered hood. I don't really know what we call this thing. We're gonna loosen it up because we need to make an adjustment. This thing was running into the T-roof. I guess that's a common issue. And all you do is loosen it up and just kind of pull it up ever so slightly. It's a very small adjustment. And while you're holding it, you just tighten it down. All right, we're good there. And we'll pull up on this guy too. Okay, hopefully that fixed it. It moved a little. So DeLorean only used a few little pieces of double-sided tape to hold down the T-roof in the center, but we're gonna pretend that DeLorean had an unlimited budget and we're gonna use a lot more of this. Why not, right? And there's 2. All right, let's go crazy. Let's do 2 more. I'm a wild man. They would have had to raise MSRP if I was in charge of the tape department. Someone in accounting would be like, hey, John DeLorean, this car's gonna have to cost like $34 more because of this guy in the tape department. Then I would have been fired by John DeLorean. That would have been cool. You know we gotta use black tape just like DeLorean did. And I found some super old black tape. I think this was in the back of the Eclipse GSX or something, I don't remember. It's also kind of pointless. I don't really see what this is doing. We've already made a really good seal with this plate, but you gotta keep your DeLorean all DeLorean? I don't know. All right, look at that nice piece right there. I'm going way overboard here on what they did because I just got word in the break room that John's about to fire me, so I'm just going crazy, taping these things up. John DeLorean, take that. Extra 10 cents of tape for you. Should we just do one really long, crazy one? Look at that. It's gonna be the most bestest taped roof ever. That was satisfying. Look, this is nice. Look at that. Oh man, I don't want to cover this up. Can I be the only DeLorean that rides around with no T-roof? No, I can't. Let's put this on. Now we all know the DeLorean is a pretty slow car, and we also know that stickers make cars faster. So here is 5 extra horsepower. And you know what? Let's just do another one back here too. Yep, right there's where you're supposed to put them. Now it's time for the T-roof. T-roof. going back on. And we gotta start from this front lip and gently lower it down. Okay, tape is down. I got the side screws in, we should be good. Last piece of the T-roof puzzle is installing this trim. This actually holds in the back of the T-roof. So it slides in the front to hold it down, tape, a few screws, and some plastic trim in the back. They really weren't worried about the T-roof coming off, were they? All right, T-roof is back on, looking pretty. We've pushed the DeLorean outside because I want to blow it out. So I did vacuum everything, but I want to get in all the nooks and crannies and really clean this up. I also inspected everything under the dash. It looks beautiful, no wiring damage, but look in there. That's what I'm talking about, and I'm using the respirator this time. This stuff is nasty. Oh, and check this out. I pulled up a panel back here. So glad I did. Look what we found. Whoa. Look at all the poo. Look at all that. Look at all that. All right, I want to see what's going on with these vents, make sure there's nothing inside of them. All right, that looks good. All right, I looked at how this works behind the dash. It's very simple. I should be able to blow on this side and it should come out the other side. So let's see. Oh yeah. And we can hit it right in the middle here. All right, I've vacuumed everything. I've blown everything out from the dash. Now I'm just gonna go nuts. It's gonna blow air everywhere. Say hello to my two little friends. This is awesome. Wow, look at everything that's coming up. Look at it, it's just finding stuff everywhere. I need to do this a bunch of times. So after I blow it out, I'm gonna vacuum it, then we'll blow it out again, vacuum again, and I'll just keep on going until nothing else comes out of anywhere. After a few rounds, we have the DeLorean looking pretty good. So now it's time to attack it with some degreaser, some tough stuff, a brush, microfiber. We even got steam. Areas like this look clean right now, but if you get up close, they kind of smell like mice. So we're just gonna spray everything. And this is just some degreaser right now. And we get all these little nooks and crannies. There were rodents running around in here. Super cool 80s rodents. All right, so wipe this stuff up. Oh, much better. Much better. We're gonna steam away as well, kill as many germs as possible. Wipe this clean also. Final step in cleaning an area, we're gonna be using Lysol to kill any remaining germs. It's about 100 degrees out. I'm just gonna let that air dry while we move on. So that's pretty much gonna be the treatment. Degreaser, brush, wipe it out, steam it, Lysol it. This thing's gonna be cleaner than it was at the factory. I'm gonna do this entire center console, even getting in the wiring harness as well. Wires look good, they're dirty. And I know we're never gonna see any of this. This is mostly just a big disinfecting process. We don't want to be driving this car with the little baby windows open, getting air in here. Then all this dirt and dust and poo just kind of goes up in the air, makes you sneeze. It's bad for the allergies. I don't want any of that. I just want to clean everywhere. I'm keeping this car for the rest of my life, okay? Don't call me crazy. Oh yeah, we'll get in here too. Nice, nice. Oh wait, that's coming off. There we go, nice. There's some pretty light degreaser as well, so it's not gonna ruin any of our switches. Beautiful. Oh, this is looking great. Sweet. And look at this. Oh, this just pops right off. Okay. This headlight switch, 16,000 miles. I don't really trust the mileage on any DeLorean. Basically, they all had a big speedo cable issue. And so it's almost always inaccurate. So this says 16,000. I don't know. It's a lot of pushes for 16,000, isn't it? I think I can easily get this vent out. There we go. Oh, yeah. Totally worth it. DMC, so cool. Oh, we can also take these tubes out here for the vents and just give them a good cleaning. And these guys just slide right back in. Put Lysol in there, okay. Why not, right? It's really get in here. I plan on having ice cold AC in my DeLorean, and I don't want any garbage blowing at me. And we'll get this radio a little bit as well. Oh, this is looking so good. I cannot wait to listen to Back in Time. Power of Love and Back in Time by Huey Lewis and the News. Those are definitely my favorite on this one. Look what I got to replace this. A new one. So I think this goes there, and then we push this in here. There we go. Perfect. Is this upside down? Kind of looks upside down, doesn't it? There we go. That looks more normal to me, right? Yeah. Vent's going back in. All right, to top this off, I'm just using a little bit of trim conditioner. You can use leather cleaner as well. I found that to work well too. Okay, yeah, these easily pop off. That's nice. Get in here and clean. Final step with a soft brush, and I think we are good. Wow, look at this. So cool, so 80s. Look at this, the white turned out super white. Nothing's worn out there. We have our new headlight switch, which I'm gonna press on the sides. That way we don't wear out the white. We got our DMC Dolby system looking pretty. Let's keep going. Scrub-a-dub-dub. These work really good on cars, and you can use them in the shower too to wash yourself. Just, you know, get a new one for that. And some of this is glue. It's leftover glue. Like that right there. This car is smelling better by the minute. All right. Looking good. There was a ton of mouse livings in here. If you guys don't have a steamer, I highly recommend it. We're gonna also do this. And some of this. And then we just wipe it away. Looking good, people, looking good. The DeLorean is back inside and everything is super clean. I wish you guys could smell inside of this car right now. I've sprayed every surface with the Lysol. It's completely disinfected. We've cleaned up the dash, which is in excellent condition, by the way. Look at this, beautiful. The climate control, the radio area, the steering wheel, everything just looks really, really nice. Just a little incomplete. So let's continue on. Let's get this interior back in. Oh, I can't wait to sit in this car again. I mean, it doesn't run or drive or anything like that, but a guy can pretend, right? A guy can put a Back to the Future tape in the car and sit in it and listen to it, right? That's not weird. If you guys remember, this piece had fallen out. Only 2 out of the 4 screws were in there, so I used a couple wood screws and we are solid. Thanks DeLorean for using wood in the interior. That made things easy. Now we just have to cover up these control units with their respective pieces of wood. Okay. Wood panel number 2. Now, before we lay the carpet in, I'm gonna do something that I've never done before, but I've always wanted to do on some cars, especially the DeLorean with these fiberglass floors. I think they could use a little bit of sound deadening. So we're gonna add a little bit of weight to the DeLorean, but I don't really care. It's already pretty light. I think this is really gonna help cut down on potential road noise and just kind of make the car feel like it's a lot higher quality. So this stuff is just peel and stick, and I'm gonna try and get it in everywhere. Let's do a little test. That's scientific, it worked. I'm gonna lay one down like this. This car's an instrument now. I'm definitely not. These washers are where the seats mount to, and they're kind of elevated, so I think we can just cut around them. Oh, this stuff cuts really nice. Like butter. Oh, we don't want to cut our speaker wire. This is great. You can kind of form it right around whatever you need to cut around. This is really nice to work with. Oh, look at that. This is cool. If you kind of need to pull it back, it does pull right back up. Cool. This is so much fun, guys. If you don't care about adding weight to your car, I literally have no personal experience with this, so it could do nothing. But if it works and you don't care about adding weight to your car, I highly recommend it. It's fun at the very least. This stuff is kind of addicting. It's so easy to lay down and fun. And I'm even putting some inside of this little box. There's a cover here as well, but we could get some road noise in. So I'm just cutting little pieces and then filling in the gaps. I'll slide it underneath these cables here. And it's just so malleable, it just fits in everywhere. All right, that is sound deadened. I'm getting the tunnel area where the center console, did I say that right? Console. Just a few of you, or 5,000 of you, pointed out that I say console. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just how I've always said it. I know it's wrong. Just, you know, you're born in a certain place, things are said a certain way, and you don't think about it. But I'll try my best. It is C-O-N, soul. Console. There we go. We're not gonna hear anything underneath this console. Our sound deadening mat is done. So this was about 1.5 boxes. I think we added roughly 30 pounds to the DeLorean, but I think it'll be well worth it. I've never driven a DeLorean, but I would imagine they're kind of loud going down the road, and we may have helped with that a little bit. So we have it wrapped all the way around the transmission tunnel, even though it's really not a transmission tunnel. This is just where the frame goes. But you know what I mean? It's all wrapped up in there. Inside of here, we've insulated where the battery sits as well, but left the cool negative earth sticker. I finished up this box as well, so now we can start to go back together with the interior. So this little carpet fits in here. It's kind of cut around the engine's computer, which is this guy. This has even more foam, so we are very well insulated inside of here. Now, a lot of the carpet for the DeLorean is actually glued in. So I bought some spray adhesive. This stuff's kind of nasty, so respirator time. What the instructions say to do is spray it on both sides that you want to stick together. And we'll just apply some pressure here for a little bit. And I'm gonna hold that for a few minutes and just dream of driving my DeLorean, which, by the way, doesn't run, guys. We're doing the cosmetic restoration before the mechanical because I'm waiting on parts for that. And I can't waste any time. My deadline is Halloween. I want this thing parked on my front lawn, running and driving though, as a Halloween decoration. And then I'm gonna dress up. I think I'm gonna be Marty. I was debating Marty or Doc. I think I'm gonna be Marty. So when we discovered this little cubby, it looked like this. Mice had been living in it for a while. And now it looks like this. I did replace this with a good used part and we cleaned it up, but this is perfect. All right, this part's gonna go pretty quick. Carpet, seats, console. Here we go. This drapes over the wood, and it was stuck originally with tape, so I added a little bit. Only the finest materials for a DeLorean. So we tuck this in like so. Now, believe it or not, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but the DeLorean carpet here is held in with staples. Staples, yes. Glue, tape, staples. That's all you need really to build a car. Last one. Perfect. With all the staples done, we can now install this guy here. Great. This locks kind of in a bad spot right behind the seat, but there you go, put something in there. Next we have our carpet here that covers up the wood. Goodbye wood, you don't exist. Next we have this other piece of carpeted wood. The mice kind of chewed away at this, but it's all been disinfected, it's good to go. We'll leave a little sign that mice have been here. They're definitely the coolest mice ever, living in a DeLorean. If I was a mouse, I would live in a DeLorean. All right, cool. Now we can put our golf club net back on now. Sweet, look at this, it's so pretty. All right, let's get some more carpet in. Before going back together with the carpet, I wanted to take care of these nasty seat frames. These things wouldn't even move back and forth, so you couldn't adjust the seat, but a little bit of penetrating oil and some light hammer action brought them back to life. Now I needed to get all the rust out, so I soaked them in a bucket of Evapo rust overnight. And when they came out, they looked like this. This stuff basically melted all of the rust off, so I just had to touch it up a little bit with a wire wheel. And then it was off to the paint shop or cardboard box, where I shot them with primer first to prevent any future rusting, and then a nice gloss black finish to make them look brand new again. Now, although 95% of the seat frame you're not gonna see, it's gonna be underneath the seat, this is what I really wanted to look pretty again. So this is the adjustment, so you're gonna grab this to move the seat back and forth. So the seat frames are ready. You guys saw in the last video, we restored these nasty seats. They were covered in mold and dirt, and after some very satisfying scrubbing and wiping, I re-dyed and conditioned the leather seats, and now they look practically new. These things are in great shape, and none of the leather is hard. It's very nice and soft, ready to go. Center console is ready. Carpet is all cleaned up. I did get used carpet, but it had some coffee stains in there, so I pressure washed these while they were out, got all of those stains out, and now they're ready to go back. In time. I had to. I don't think, have I done it back in time yet in this video? I don't know. This video is taking like 3 weeks to film, so I forget what I'm saying. We have to put the side pieces in first, and unfortunately these get glued in. So I just gotta line it up there. Okay, that's the easy part. Okay, we don't get too many tries at this. The weather stripping is also gonna go over this seam here. And we just have to wrap it around all these corners. Like I said, this is a used carpet, but I mean, they took it apart okay. And then this gets tucked in here. And like I said, we're gonna get weather stripping over this whole thing. That's gonna really tighten it up. Well, I'm not ready for the new weather stripping yet, but I'm using it as a holding tool for this seam. That way the glue can set. So I've laid some weather stripping. You can kind of get an idea of what this is gonna look like when we're done. And I think it looks really, really nice. This is all glued down, looks good. We can move on to the larger piece. Here's what DeLorean did to help with noise. So we're just helping a little bit more with everything we laid down. Oh, this is so nice. And then we still have to get our battery in here, so I've left this kind of undone. So if you spray both sides and let it sit just for a couple minutes, it gets really nice and tacky, and it just works so much better. It almost just instantly sticks down. It's great. And I was afraid of these parts here, but that weather stripping really works to hold it in. Kind of covers it up as well. Driver's side carpet going back. It's starting to look like a real car again. I'm a real car. All right, line up our holes there. And I believe this goes under. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. Oh, yeah. Woo! It's exciting stuff, people. We are getting there. This is gonna be the best looking non-running and driving DeLorean ever. Okay, cool. Are we ready for seats? Oh, we gotta bolt the seat frames back onto the seats though. That always helps. Let's do it. Okay, we can't put the seats in. We gotta do the center console first. And this shifter lever was in pretty rough shape, so I sanded it down and sprayed it. Looks brand new now. But the DeLorean was missing a trim piece that went in here. When I bought the car, you would just see this white, which is not proper. It's supposed to have this guy in there. I have no idea where it went, but we need to separate this. It's just glued together. There we go. Eee, nasty. Our purple power degreaser worked pretty well for this. Nice. Nice. And we'll get the bottom side of this too. Probably had quite a few coffees spilled on it throughout the years. Okay. All right. Another while we're in there, right? Just taking stuff apart when we're supposed to be going back together. It's okay. It's getting better. Look at that 80s park reverse neutral drive. Second and first. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want my DeLorean to be a manual. This is just glued on and some of it is coming up. So we're just gonna do a little bit of super glue. Okay. Yeah, this side seems pretty good. Okay, so now we can put this guy through here, this guy through here. We'll get this past here. Then we can sneak our park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, first thingy in like this. This is one big shifter sandwich. For this, we're gonna use some Gorilla Glue. I think the normal super glue is just a little too runny. And I'll get some clamps on here as well. I glued and clamped up the other side, and now we can leave this in our heat booth out here drying with this guy too. Luckily it's 1,000 degrees out, so it should be done soon. If you guys remember in the previous video, this guy was a smoker. The ashtray was full of cigarettes, and he definitely used the cigarette lighter here. And not that I smoke, but this is just kind of gross. We're just gonna swap out the entire thing. There we go. Okay, yeah, this thing is pretty brittle. All right, I got a new one. This has an LED light, so it's a new modern upgraded version. Still tells you to smoke on here. We're not gonna do that though. So I'll slide it in like so. And then this will slide in. Much, much better. Now again, although we won't be using the cigarette lighter for what it was intended for in 1981, nor will we be using the ashtray, we definitely have to restore it. This thing was quite rusty and nasty. So you know the drill. After removing all the rust, we sprayed it down with some primer, let that dry, and then our gloss black went in. And here's our final product. Nice and shiny. The original owner who loved to smoke would be proud. Actually, no, he would destroy this probably. So we gotta snap this back piece on. This stays fixed. Then this sliding piece will go on here, like so. And then we can snap this all together. With this snapped on, we slide this back on. And there you have it. Cool. We're good. I think this can go back in now. Pretty sure. Center console It's going back in. Gotta say it right when I'm putting it in, right? All right, seriously though, can you guys let me know, Midwesterners especially, do you just say console? Like that's how I say it really quick, naturally, console, center console. But I get it, it's the U is in there, console. It's not right, I guess, I don't know. Oh, I got a cramp in the side. You guys ever get that? And then you're frozen. Oh, it hurts, go away. Look at this awesome DeLorean quality here. Fit and finish, just spot on. Just suck it in, there we go. Okay, there we go. This is so great. I'm about to plug in the window switches, but you can plug them in wrong, and then up will be down and down will be up, and we don't want that. So let's get our battery in. I gotta put this in anyway. Normally I would do positive first, but you just gotta do the ground first on these. All right, it's making the chime sound. There we go. All right, we'll strap this down in a moment. All right, key on. There we go. That's down, that's up. When I tried this the first time, it was the opposite, so they probably just had it plugged in wrong. Let's try the passenger one. Yeah, see, this is opposite. That's okay, we just need to remember to push it in like that. Now that's down. Okay, cool. All right, this is too annoying. Yeah, there we go. Now I can push this in. You know I can't go back together with window switches like this, so I got new ones like this. And these guys just kind of fit in like that. Like this and like that. All right, then we just have a couple of blanks, and I don't know what these could be. Like if there were options for something here, I don't know. We're good. I plugged in our headlight dimmer switch, which is oddly located right there. And now this slides in this way. Okay. I gotta say, the fit and finish on this car is something else, guys. Let me tell you. Stuff just, it doesn't fit well. Okay, we got this bolted in as well as it gets bolted in from DeLorean. All right, we got our light here. Shifters going back on. We gotta tuck this guy in without breaking it. There we go. Sweet. Next we have our spring, and this metal piece here gets pressed fit in. Now we have our washer and a nut. All right. And this was our factory one. It was broken, so I got a known good used piece. And this just snaps together, a couple screws, and we're done. All right, I got the screws in, and we have a functioning shifter. Okay, just slammed it in neutral. And this thing definitely doesn't sound anything like that. I've never driven a DeLorean, but 130 horsepower with an automatic, it's gonna feel very slow. It's gonna be very slow. But who cares when you have a dash and center console that looks like this? Bad fit and finish, but so cool in 80s. All right, we're gonna get to the seats soon, but I keep on running into things that we should do before the seats go in, like the headliners, which means we need to get the weather stripping in. There's lots to do. So this is our new weather stripping. If you guys remember in the last video, we peeled all the old stuff off, cleaned everything up really nice, and then I even used a wire wheel to clean up as much of the old adhesive as possible. It's okay if there's a little bit left like that. Here is our new weather stripping. We can still see where all of this went because we left some of the glue on there. Okay, so this is gonna go right here. We know we have to cut this out right here for the torsion bar. Okay, we're actually gonna use these tin snips. Oh, that is nice. Whoever said you can't use tin snips on weather stripping? Literally no one's ever said you can't do that. You could definitely do that. All right, let's see where we're at now. All right, perfect. Now I believe we're gonna have to cut out for this as well. And we're gonna go ahead and mark this guy here and here. We'll tin snip it up, and I believe those are our only cutouts. So I'll put this right there. That is cut out nicely. We're good. And this is gonna follow all the way down here, and we'll have a little bit of excess to cut off. Okay, cool. Let's get to gluing. We're gonna use this super black weather stripping gasket adhesive. This stuff is really hardcore. As soon as you open the cap, it just starts coming out. So I'm just gonna do a little smear job here. Don't get on my car. All right, we're gonna go up to here for now. And now I'm just spreading it out. We don't have very long hair because this is gonna start setting soon. And then we're gonna put some on the actual weather stripping as well. And we are definitely racing against the clock. This stuff will get hard. All right, let's go, 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 go. Don't get it on the stainless. Okay, and we just want this weather stripping just to be slightly higher than the body. Okay, one recommendation I would make, this is the first time I've ever done this, by the way, maybe work in smaller sections, because now I have to hold all the way down here at the perfect height while it sets for about 2 minutes, and it's already starting to set. This is one of those things where, I mean, it is, you know, it is cosmetic with the doors open. Not that any DeLorean owners like ever, you know, pop their doors open at car shows or anything. They would never do that. They always just keep them shut. Yeah, this is like, look at this. This is already, like, this is set, man. This is good stuff. All right, we got a little bit of, I'm just gonna call that over goo. Overspray, but over goo. Bring this up a little. That should clean up. We got a stainless steel car, nothing can touch it. I have the back left side completely done. I'm gonna wait till this fully cures and then we should be able to clean all of this excess up. This front piece is a little bit easier. We don't have to make any cuts. This seal just comes right up to there. So we'll goop it up. And this part is plastic. This is the cover over the windshield. All right, let's just do this section here. Spread it out, very nice. And we'll do the same on the weather stripping. All right, and we'll just attach it. I think it is better to wait like a solid 30, 40 seconds even to get this to tack up. Yeah, look at that. And I mean, it sets really nicely. This is great. Get that part tacked in. So now we can make a cut right in this corner. Although weather stripping is gonna come down this way from the factory, it was cut into 2 pieces so you don't get a bulge right here. So we're gonna bring it right to the corner, I think about right there. Give it a little snipperoo. All right, I said I was gonna work in smaller sections, but this one's pretty much a straight shot. I think we can do it. We can do it. Okay, that's a big run. Don't get any on my new carpet. Oh, ah, oh my gosh. It's okay. All right, now I'm gonna wait about 30 seconds. You guys wanna hang out for 30 seconds? What do you wanna talk about? What do you got going on in your life? How's the weather? I'm just kidding. Let's jump cut. 30 seconds later. Welcome to the future. Roughly 30 seconds later. This is all tacked up. I've just been standing here hunched over the entire time. This is very fun and satisfying. I was actually kind of nervous about this whole part. I mean, anything when you're gluing something in that's kind of just like semi-permanent, it's nerve-wracking, but I'm having a good time. During a lot of this restoration project, I'm just kind of imagining I'm one of the factory workers in Northern Ireland putting this thing together because, I mean, a lot of this stuff was just done by hand. Someone was the seal smusher. There was probably a lady named Lorraine, sounds like a name that would have been at the DeLorean factory, and she was the seal installer. She did a great job. Thanks, Lorraine. No, the fumes aren't getting to me at all. I'm fine. Oh, that is sweet. Look at this craftsmanship. She would be proud. Just finished up with all of the seals. So the entire driver's side is done and the passenger side also. So now it's time for these beauties right here. If you guys remember, the headliners on this car were in pretty rough shape. The fabric was peeling off. They were pretty nasty. So I sent these out to an upholstery shop and they recovered them in the exact same grade that the DeLorean came with. This was a place that had done DeLorean headliners a few times before. They look beautiful. Let's get them back on. First headliner going in and just kind of slides into a little slot back there, like so. Okay, we have a dome light to plug in. And then with the clip that I totally did not break in the last episode at all. Did I just break that? Might have just broken that. We're just gonna go ahead and put this back. I glued it back together, it's fine. Slide in. Are you in? Oh, you're in. All right, the front of the headliner gets held in by the sun visors and we have to be able to find the 2 holes that we need to poke through. And what I did was put a light on the inside, and now we can see exactly where it needs to be. You take a little pick and poke through. And now we can get these with the screws in there. There we go. Screw number 2 going in. This is so funny. Oh, you can see holes in the fiberglass. Both sun visors and headliners are in place, but they give us a ton of fabric here that we need to cut and mold over. And I've never done anything like that before, so let's see what happens here. So what I think we have to do is put a little relief cut in right here. We're using cheap scissors and tin snips. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay, cool. I'm gonna use our same spray adhesive in here. And we'll keep it going all the way down. And we're getting this on both sides of the material. We'll let it kind of flash dry for about 30 seconds. All right, this is pretty good. So I'm gonna hold it from here and we'll start folding it over. And I just wanna make sure I'm going along here with the bend and that it's nice and tight so we don't have any creases on the inside. Nope, we're good. This little section here is a little tricky, but remember we have a weather stripping that's gonna cover most of this, so we should be fine. And this part right here, it just went right up to this seam here in the A-pillar. We're gonna do the exact same thing. And I'm gonna kind of hold this for a minute. This is an important spot right here that could peel up, so I just wanna make sure it is adhered properly. And I'm just gonna go in with a razor, and we'll cut off any excess. Trying to keep this pretty tight in here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And we'll get this guy as well. There we go. Sweet. I'm gonna finish the rest. I'll show you guys the final product and then we have 2 little guys to do. I've cut down all the headliner and I paid special attention to kind of cut it short in here. The last thing we want is headliner overlapping into this area, because if it gets wet, the water is going to travel through the headliner and show up on the other side. Now I'm going to install the final piece of the weather stripping, and there's going to be a break here, so I'm going to make that at the bottom. And this is what's going to really tuck in all of this material and the headliner, and give it its finished look too. And this just pushes in really nice and easy. All right, so here we go over the headliner. So this will be our finished product, looking pretty nice. This bend looks a little tough. I'm gonna kind of push this up in here. Okay, that looks pretty nice. Keep that tucked in too. Oh, perfect. Oh, all right, that corner and that front corner was what I was worried about, but that is looking really nice, guys. Really happy with this. And headliners are very sensitive to dirt, so I'm using brand new gloves because we do have to touch a visible part of the headliner just to kind of make sure this is matted down properly. I've been a headliner weather stripping vend professional for a grand total of 2 minutes now. There we go. That's all it takes. There we go. Oh, this is sweet. It's all coming together, people. It's coming together. Come together. Right. Oh. Right now. Over me, bum, bum, bum. I think that's what they say. I don't know. I don't really know the words to many songs, but that sounded right. All right, now we get to tuck in this material here. Oh, is this gonna, look at that, perfection. Okay, all the weather stripping is done. All the gluing of stuff is done. I was kind of nervous about all that. We're good. This is beautiful. Let me show you. Here we go. Weather stripping on beautiful headliner. This is so sweet. I love this weather stripping. It's such a nice finished product. And before, ours was destroyed, especially on the driver's side. And just look at me now. Beautiful. Okay, before we attach the remaining headliners, I'm just gonna go for it, guys. We're gonna do the sound deadening here as well. Then when I'm driving the DeLorean in the rain all the time, you don't hear it as much. It sounds basically exactly the same, but it looks cool. And got another piece in here. Just overlap that one. Cool. All right, I'm done. I promise. I'm done with the sound deadening stuff. Just did the passenger side as well, so we'll start getting these headliners back on. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. That's in. Before I get this last headliner back in, we have to replace a couple things on this door panel, which means we have to take it off. One of them is this strap. This doesn't require the door panel to be removed, but this does. This got destroyed because of the strap. This is one of those things I'm gonna totally save for no reason. I'm never gonna use it or probably ever look at it, but I don't want to get rid of it. It's original. I already took this piece of the door panel off. It's just clipped in. All right, so we're working inside the car now. This just started to lift off, so go with it. Okay, and I believe we just have a bunch of screws. How many screws hold on this door panel? No wonder you guys went out of business. There's too much money in screws. Just use clips. Apparently there's like 50 other screws to hold the door panel in. I don't really need to take the door panel off for any other reason, and I can get to the screws for the handle, so we're just gonna go this route. Now the key though, will be putting it back together. There it is, see that? We can get in there, no problem. I can even get my hand in here too, which is great because these screws are gonna fall out. See, got it. All right guys, the door panel just flew off on me, off camera of course. Here it is, now I'm going down a rabbit hole of replacing foam that has fallen apart. I'm not gonna show this on camera, but this is gonna be like a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours before I'm done with this. Like these types of restorations, it's a rabbit hole. It's a while you're in there. So now I gotta clean everything. I got the vent disassembled. I got a bunch more screws and brackets. Anyway, I'm gonna fix this up. I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, it didn't take me a couple hours, about 30 minutes. We have all new foam all on the inside of here, and the vent is perfectly cleaned out. The door panel is cleaned. I cleaned up the carpet as well. Looking good. Now, we have to replace this with this, but I just realized that this is glued on the back. Okay, so we take it off and we have to transfer it. And then you wanna know something crazy? There's a core charge on this. So I have to send this back and they're gonna recover it. Because I guess they don't actually make this part anymore, but they can fix it. Kind of cool, $100 core charge. Let's clean this guy up. Drill was a little overkill, but looks pretty good. We had a lot of luck with this on the weather stripping, so I'm just gonna go for it. Put a little here in the corner, and this should glue this on pretty nicely. And then we'll just go ahead and reinstall it here. Sweet. Okay, while this is drying, we're gonna put the seats in because I'm dying to put these seats in and we can do it now. Well, you know I can't have this for the seat belt. That looks bad. Now we're gonna prime this guy. I primered up the passenger side as well, so we'll hit it with some gloss black. Yeah, this is kind of a weird thing to do since we're getting a little overspray on the actual seatbelt, but there's really no good way. You can't really replace this part unless you're getting brand new seatbelts. That looks pretty good. We're just making it a little better, that's all. And now we'll hang it up to dry. So the hardware for the seats and the seatbelts not looking the best. We can fix that for sure. Once you get the levitation just right, she cleans right up. Much better. Sometimes the wire wheel gets stuck in your skin. You have to pluck it out. Worth it. Totally worth it. Before the seats go in, we have to bolt in the sweet gloss black seat frames that have now been restored. These things were kind of a rusty mess. Not anymore. Just 4 bolts that hold these guys in. Yeah, then we can slide these guys down. And of course, we're gonna use our Mercedes-Benz sunroof grease on these tracks. I don't think they had anything. They wouldn't move. They were completely rusted, but with them all cleaned up, they're already working nicely. Let's work them a few times. Good. All right, let's get the seat in. These guys cleaned up really nice. We have our good looking hardware as well. Oh, it's seat time. It is finally seat time, people. Oh. I don't know why I'm saying, oh, these are super light racing seats when you have a 130 horsepower V6. I'm gonna get little rubber boots to go over these, but I'm also gonna spray a little bit of primer on them as well. And this way they'll be protected for all the times that I'm gonna drive this thing in the rain and salt, which is never. I didn't need to do that at all. But it looks cool. Beautiful seat is in. I got some pretty cool DMC floor mats as well. Throw that in too. This had no floor mats when I bought it. I think it was an option. Hold on a second, don't worry. My boots are kind of clean. I don't really care right now. I just want to sit in my car. Not that I'm gonna be on the passenger side, but what does it feel like over here? I think I just gotta adjust my seat. This is so mint. God, this is beautiful in here. I mean, the body lines and everything are just horrendous, but this is cool, guys. Cell phone fits perfectly right here. It's about the same size as the ashtray. I should do like a wireless charging situation. All right, we're gonna see if Max can fit in here. He's our test for a tall guy. There's a lot of legroom. I think you're gonna be all right. What do you think?
It's, yep.
I mean, for a two-seater sports car.
No, we'll see about the
Oh.
being closed.
Yeah, hang on. Your head is above.
Well, there's
Yeah.
there's the little cutout here.
All right, watch
So
your
we-
head. Watch your head.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, my head's on the ceiling.
Is it?
Yeah.
So glad I'm not tall. So no DeLorean for Max?
I never said no DeLorean. It's just a little tight.
Yeah. Okay.
I can slouch.
I let this dry overnight. Yes, I didn't get the driver's seat in yesterday, but this is ready to go. I want to get this door panel back on. So we slide it in like that. Bracket goes over like this. We're gonna do this the more proper way by getting these screws in now. This should make life much easier getting this thing back together. We don't have to mess around with that super long screwdriver. All right. Should be good there. Going back together with our beautiful door panel, and there are some materials on the DeLorean that are actually really nice. Like this, feels good. There we go. Good old DeLorean clips going right back in. Perfect. 2 more bolts on the inside. Total pain to get to, but we got it. Oh, that handle is solid. Window switch pack going in. Got our mirror adjustment switch back in. I gotta open it, slide it in. There we go. This upper part just slides in like this. Door panel all clipped in. Give it a quick wipe, and we are almost done. Almost done with this door. This pillar gets slid in just slightly below the door panel. This one was broken, looked pretty bad, and I got a new one. Actually, I got a used one. Some of these parts they don't make anymore, so they're just used at this point, but this looks nice. This must be one of those weird DeLorean things where they change things throughout the years. This is my old one. This is the new one. See, it's got a few extra clips. We don't have the holes in the door for that. Yep, there's no hole. There's no hole there. So we're gonna snip these guys off. Maybe that's the reason why it broke. wasn't that supported, but I'm not gonna drill into the stainless, we'll be good. Oh, that's so nice. Next we have our headliner. With the headliner done, last piece of the puzzle, the old strap, which later was integrated into the door panel nicely, but on the early ones, that's it. There you go. I kind of like the early ones. There's a lot of cool early stuff that I like this. It's like they just cut someone's belt in half. Passenger one's in pretty decent condition and the door panel is really nice. There's some cracks in there, why not? Yeah, we'll get our nice new one in there. Some fresh leather for the DeLorean. All right, that's good. And off camera, I cleaned out the vent and replaced the foam. You know, I couldn't leave the passenger side alone, so that's done as well. Okay, driver's side seat. That is some sweet sliding action. This guy's ready. Sweet, sweet driver's seat is going in. Can you imagine if I was just like right along the fender with the bottom of the seat frame? Oh, that would stink. Watch, I gouge the dash right after joking. All right, studs in the back going through. The last piece is the parking brake. So we cleaned this up really nice. And then this guy slides right over. Finishing touch going in. Guys, we are done with the interior. Outside of a final cleaning, we are done assembling the interior, headliners, weather stripping. This is so beautiful. Everything is disinfected, everything is clean behind the dash, everything's blown out. The seats look so good. We'll wrap up the battery here later, but oh, beautiful place, beautiful place. Oh, it's built for this thing. Right here. This is heavy. Oh man. Can you adjust the steering wheel? No, I don't care. It's all good. It's in a perfect DeLorean spot. This car doesn't run. I still have a ton more work to do, which we're gonna continue right now, but I gotta just take a moment. There's a steering column bushing that's bad. We'll get to that when we do steering and suspension, but I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, this is so cool. First time with the strap. That noise just never gets old. I just gotta lubricate the seal. We're good, we're good. All right, guys. I am coming to you from the future, from a time where the DeLorean restoration is complete. And let me tell you, this thing is looking sweet. But if you've made it this far, you know that the video is very long, and for me to have included the entire restoration process would literally double the length of the video. But do not worry, the next episode is coming out in a few days. So in the near future, or well, I guess it could be the past depending on when you're watching this video, but soon or now, the next installment is out and this car is done and it is beautiful. So I hope you guys will join me for that, and I really hope you liked this video. I loved making it, and the next one is out of this world. So if you did like it, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe if you like content like this, and most importantly, have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the future or the past in another video. In this video, we are going to fully restore every cosmetic aspect? What's a good word for that? We're gonna fully restore every cosmetic part. Every cosmetic aspect is a good word, right? One of Mike's friends just showed up. One of Mike's friends just showed up. Oh my gosh. What's going on? I'm trying to film. There's trees coming off. This is crazy. That's what I have to deal with outside, people. This is why I love having legit street quarters. One of Mike's friends showed up with, okay, I don't know why I'm even trying right now. I'm just gonna film noises. DeLorean. Okay, so I'm gonna use a rust converter, so this will bond. I'm gonna use a rust converter. There are many of these on the market. So it doesn't become, check, all right now.